Hey, Bryony here from the Somatherapy Collective. I just want to talk a little bit about decolonisation and what that means right now in the world. If you like what I'm doing, you like what you're hearing, please like, share, subscribe so you can get all my latest content and videos and offerings when they first hit the public arena. This work is extremely bespoke and limited in numbers and not and really intimate in the way that I actually create space, hold space, and work with people, particularly women and all people who identify as women in the space that I hold and the work that I do. What decolonising is and what decolonisation is. And if you're working with therapists, or you're working in a spirituality field, or working any place where self-development, healing, getting in the body, somatic work is present, and you're not working with somebody who has an active and transparent decolonised approach, then you are not going to heal the deep depths and work with the deeper layers within inside you, because the area of healing and the evolution and the world right now is changing. It's changing rapidly, and decolonisation is where it's at. And anyone you're working with, you really need to really work with somebody who's doing the work that is meeting what is happening in the world right now and the needs of humanity and life itself. And if you are working with somebody who is bypassing that, or who is going, it's not my issue, or completely being in their own privilege, then they're only going to take you into that binary. And that's the same binary that you are trying to heal from. Because ultimately healing is about bringing the whole of you back into the present moment, back into all the parts of you that have been exiled or pushed down the dark, back into the whole of you. And if somebody is not really working in the decolonisation space, they're unable to move you through and dissolve those binaries and those edges in you to bring those exiled parts back into the wholeness and the full power of who you are. So you really need to be working with and aligning with and having community and conversation and walking beside and having support from those people who are in the decolonisation space, because they've got their finger on the pulse and they are moving with what is alive, what is present, and they are meeting the world climate, which is actually impacting all of us, whether or not you're watching, whether or not you're turning away, whether or not you are full, rooted in the whole guts of what is unfolding in the world right now. We are all impacted. It's in the field, it's in the ground, it's in the air, it's everywhere. So we are all being impacted. The second point I want to make about the decolonisation space: work with somebody, work with people, align and collaborate with people who are decolonising and have a really clear, ethical, rooted standpoint on this current climate and what's happening in the world right now, what's happening through oppression and violence, hierarchical systems of colonization and patriarchy, which are collapsing. It looks like they're holding on, but they are collapsing. It's not enough for whoever you're working with, particularly in the space of therapy and healing and spirituality, that the person that you are working with, the leader, the healer, the therapist that you are working with, needs to not just be posting things here and there about Free Palestine or about decolonisation or First Nations. You need to see, and they need to be breathing it. This stuff is not, decolonisation is not a few posts on Instagram and social media. It's not turning up and having conversation in and around First Nations rights. Decolonisation is so much more than that. They're very fundamental, absolutely. Though decolonization is that you need the therapist and the person who is showing up in the decolonization space needs to be decolonizing their body and their lineage and their community and their family. If the therapist or the healer is not living and breaking down the decolonized, the binaries within themselves, they are not decolonizing. And again, be aware, because the ones that aren't doing the work and aren't reflective and aren't curious and aren't doing rupture and repair in their own life, or have a set of ethics that is aligned with humanity, and I mean by doing business, by holding space, it is now not a hierarchical system of just one person on top. We're moving into a collaborative, round table, feminine way of doing life, business, and the therapy space needs to represent that. And a person who's binary, a therapist or spiritual healer or leader who is binary and not doing the decolonization within their own system, within their own body, within their own intimate relationships, are not going to serve you very well at all, because they're binary, because they look like they're decolonizing. They might be throwing a few posts up here and there, but ultimately, at the real crux of things, they are benefiting from the system that is this violent and oppressive system. They are benefiting from it. And in order for them to actually decolonize and actually do the work internally, they're going to have to make changes in their life and to their system and the way they show up in relationship, in their work, and to hold space. And if they're not willing to do that, then be aware that you are entering into a space that looks decolonized, but it's not. It's still the same colonized space that is dressing up as though it's meeting the world climate, meeting what's happening right now. It's all lip service. It's all bypassing. It's all whitewashing. It's all privilege. Right now, as the veils are really thin in the world and life and death, they're enmeshed. They are so enmeshed, which actually is where they should be. There's so much chaos. You need to know you and where you are rooted in and what you want. It's really important that you get very clear that you are working and being in people's spaces or allowing people to hold you that share the same ethics and integrity of what you're trying to meet and uncover within yourself and meet in the world. There are no shortcuts right now, and shortcuts will lead to more colonization and more binaries and more separation in your system. If you want to come back into your full power, into your full humanity, into your full reclamation and sovereignty and agency in your body, in your emotions, if you want to heal trauma, if you want to have healthy, vibrant, incredibly beautiful, intimate relationships, then you need to be working with people who are doing the work. And don't always believe the lip service. Hang about, check it out, have the conversation, feel your body, and take the time it needs to really feel into the space on whether this person or this therapist or this space or this group or this course or any place where this vulnerability of yourself or you're going to be in a vulnerable position is touched. Take the time it needs and be discerning. Be discerning. Because whatever you allow into your system right now with the veils so thin across the world, you will feel the impacts of this like amplified in time to come. Not just you, but your ancestors, your family. Everything right now is not just amplified in what's happening in the reality of the world, but also in the healing. So you can have exponential healing here, but you can also kneecap yourself in healing spaces right now if you are working with people who are not meeting the times, the climate, and decolonizing within their bodies, within their lives, and doing the work themselves.